we have to start this off. We have been told, we have been commanded to start this off with your best scream. The killer's coming. They're coming for you, and you see him or her. How do you react?
No. Was that too loud?
No, it was perfect. I'm gonna go more. Yeah. What are we talking
Well,
about? We're talking about Scream. Scream 2022.
2022. Was it 20? How many years? 27 or 26, 27 years later?
26 now.
26, yeah.
Yes. And I
Okay.
think this was filmed in the middle of the pandemic with all like they had every intention of releasing around the 25th anniversary. And that, of course, did not happen. So we are now 26 years removed from the original. It's directed by Matt. I've got these notes.
Yeah.
Thank you, phone. But yes, it's directed by Matt Bettinelli-Open, Tyler Gillette, and Tyler Gillette. They're a directing duo. They directed some stuff for VHS, and they directed Ready or Not. Big like YouTube people that came up and just did cool things. And then the cast, this massive cast. We'll start out. You got Nev Campbell, you got Courtney Cox, David Arquette, the originals. Then you got people like Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, Dylan Minnette, Jack Quaid, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Sonia Amar, Mickey Madison. I'm going to go Mickey. And Mason Gooding, Kyle Gowner. Just so many people in this movie.
Wes Craven was obviously the man behind the originals. And so when they decided that, the new guys were going to pick this up and redo it, they presented the script to all of the originals, and they were on board. Surprisingly, they said they read through it and felt like this was a good tribute. And you can see throughout the movies that they do have a few tributes to Wes, using his name, obviously, and then in the end credits they put for Wes at the end. So it's, you've got to give the man his credit, obviously, because they wouldn't have this without him. One of the girls kind of said it best in the movie last night. It's a requel. I've never heard the term requel before, but I mean, she put it in, she explained it really great, I thought, in the movie. It's not necessarily a sequel, but it's and not really a prequel. So you kind of combine the two where you're, it's a different story, but it also goes back with the original story all in one.
We're rebooting while like paying tribute to the old stuff too. We're going to try to avoid spoilers for the viewers, for the person editing this. So we are going to do our best to not spoil anything crucial, anything that like you haven't already probably seen in the trailer.
I will say I went in with really high hopes, and I left the movie theater not just overly ecstatic, but not unhappy either. I was okay with the storyline. Is it, to me, better than any of the other Screams? No. I would probably place this, maybe if I had to rank, obviously you've got the first Scream that will always be number one. I would put this at maybe at the 2 or 3 spot. It's kind of a tie for 2 or 3 in order of what I think are the better Screams. Obviously, I love the nostalgic feel. We talked about bringing back the original characters. It really gives you that nostalgic feel. I don't think that they overdid it with this movie with the nostalgic feel. I think they kind of, put a new spin with this generation as well. Like, for example, the part that I was kind of worried about that we saw in the trailer about how, it's not, how Sydney the Scream would come in, Ghostface would come in and run after her. Well, now she's trying to lock doors or trying to do this. Well, now, she's got a thing on her phone where she can lock the door from her phone, and they go back and forth of unlock, so it kind of gave the new generation spin within this movie. But I think they did tribute, Scream 1 well with a lot of the old ways of, like, you start the movie off with the one of the main characters. Is she gonna live? Is she gonna die?
I mean, obviously it's never gonna beat the first, but in terms of just like taking, doing, the same thing but kind of turning it on its head, and satire is such a huge part of this franchise, and like kind of attacking something or making fun of something of you know, I think what I love about this movie is that it obviously makes fun of, not makes fun, it obviously kind of pokes fun while also like honoring old horror films or even current horror films. You get, they take shots at like The Babadook and It Follows and Hereditary, these elevated horror films, while also, but I think my favorite part is that it's not just that. They, like, the original Scream was a commentary on horror films, and this has become a commentary on fans. We finally have the right space for someone to come in and say, who's crazy? Like, fans, or
Yeah.
like, or what happens when a love of something, the first movie is someone's taken their love of scary movies too far. But it's like, but what if you've taken, like, what if someone's love of something just like is blown out of proportion, and we see that all the time on the internet. And I think that I love just how that's worked in and how they use this platform of legacy sequels to do that. It again is making fun of itself for being the
Yeah.
same thing that it's making fun of. Well, I mean, even to the title, like, it's just called Scream, and
Yeah.
they talk about that. It's stupid, but it's like, it's, you got to play the game. I know that there are a lot of Star Wars fans who are terrible out there on the internet, and this movie just, I mean, nails them, and it is so fun to watch. This is clear that these directors were like, we love this franchise, and we want to make Wes proud, and we want to, say something and not just make this a hollow, empty, like, retread. The kills. We have to talk
Yeah.
about the kills. Nothing super creative. We're not getting like a Tatum, shoved into a garage.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
these kills to me are like some of the most brutal.
Absolutely. Besides, when in Scream 4, where the cop is sitting outside and he gets stabbed in the
Stabbed in the head.
forehead
Yeah,
or in
yeah,
the head, yeah.
yeah,
Like, I mean, that to me back in 2011, I was like, oh, that's
yeah,
gruesome. Well, I felt like this movie took it a little further.
yeah.
Like,
Oh
there
yeah,
are some crazy stabs and cuts in this movie
yeah.
that I've not seen yet.
They,
And
yeah,
obviously now with the type of technology they have and makeup and stuff, like, it looks real. Like,
yeah.
it scared me watching it. There were a couple of times where I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, 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 same. It's like you're watching. There's like moments, I don't do well with broken bones. Like, there's moments of that.
Oh.
There's
Mm.
moments where someone's in a hospital and they are like trying to like deal with their injuries while also running away from someone, and you're just, it is brutal. Like, I don't think I've ever in one of these movies just like been like, oh,
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
this is like it's fun, but it's like
Yeah.
that's filled with these moments of like, ooh, that is rough.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
it's like class A kills. What would you rate this, Hannah? Let's do.
How
I mean,
many
I guess how many
stabs?
stabs?
I knew you
How
were
many
gonna
stabs
say
out of
that.
10 would you?
Like I said, obviously we'll never beat the original, so I'm not gonna give it like a 10 out of 10 or anything like that. But I enjoyed it, so I'm gonna give it a 7. I'll go with a 7, just because it's still, to me, I don't know if it's a second or third rank for me
Yeah,
yet. I'm gonna have to watch it again to kind of
yeah.
really know that. But yeah, I'll go with 7 stabs out of 10.
I would definitely give this. I'm gonna give this like an 8.5 out of 10 stabs, like a just 8 stabs and maybe like one little like, where, because it's fun. If you love these movies, you should have no problem getting on board with this one. The acting is pretty good. There's a few hits and misses, but it wasn't. There were things I did not enjoy here and there, but all in all, like, just a fun time. And and it's like, I don't need a sequel, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to take one if you're handing them out.
Yeah. Well, if you're handing them out and you've got the OG Sydney Prescott,
Yeah,
and if, as long as if they make another one years down the line, if she's in it, I'm watching
yeah.
it. So, that at least makes me happy about
So,
this. So,
well, thank you for taking this journey with me. Maybe we'll get to
it's
do
been a
it.
long 26-year journey, even
Yeah,
though I'm 26 years old now.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I've been doing it my whole life.
The last one came out 11 years ago, so we will probably see each other in 11 years for the next one. So.
That sounds good.
Un esercito di pro